lots of guys out, both sides. Looks like yours in particular. Like, I don't. Do you have an update on Daquan? And then how do you kind of manage the rest of it, point guard duties, etc.
Yeah, we'll get a update on him just shortly here. He was warming up. We'll see. Um, as far as everybody else, I mean, it's just by committee. We got ball players, and we're going to play. Play to the standard. Make sure that we are physical, grab, hold, and control. We want to rebound and get out and share the basketball.
Doug, how much about this last stretch here is setting the standard versus trying to build and trying to add in more offense, defensive stuff?
I think it's always going to be the standard is going to be the baseline of what we're trying to and what we're standing on and all those things. As far as adding more, from time to time we'll try to do that because we continue to practice, we continue to work and try to improve. But at the same time, it's about what we're doing now and how to set it up for as we move forward, especially for our young players.
Hey, Doug, you talked about, while it's on your watch, ain't no tanking here. But in terms of trying to build a winner, whether it's free agency, draft, whatever, like how do you, approach that organizationally? Like the truth is, if you get a better draft pick, you ideally get a better player. Like how do you, coincide?
I mean, just for me again, I personally think that if and I'm gonna say it again, I'm not anybody's house. So however somebody does it, that's how they do it. I'm just talking about here. I think that it hurts the young players because if you're sending the wrong message, like we're not going out here trying to win, that ain't it. Like your luck is gonna be your luck. I mean, last year I think is a shining example. Like that team played us in the play-in, and they got the number one pick. So for all those teams that whatever was trying not to, whatever they were doing, it didn't work. For me, the message is the message. We play hard, we get after it, we are out here to win the ball game. Period. That's just the end of question. Now, whatever happens, happens, and the luck is your luck, and that's just how the balls bounce and what have you. And I think that that's the way to go about it personally, and that's why I said why I'm sitting here.
Doug, what does it look like ideally when you have Maxime and Dylan on the floor, two bigs at the same time? Is it Max at the elbow, Dylan at the dunker? Is Max spacing to the corner? What kind of variance do we have, and what does it look like ideally?
Well, I mean, Max shooting the ball the way that he has the past few games, I think helps spread the floor immensely. So, like ear four, which is a cleared side pick and roll, and then you kind of like what you see with Boston, where Nemi is kind of at that elbow on the opposite side, and when he comes off, he just kind of is read. You can advance it to him, you can advance it to the guard, you can play step up. There are a lot of different things. So with Max shooting the ball like that, it definitely helps. And not even whether he's making it, it's just the threat of, hey, he's attempting 4 per game. You have to put some respect on his name. Dylan last game, watching film with him yesterday, he had a play where it was elbow and the guy came off and he rejected it and kept the dribble alive. And I was just like, this is growth, man, because he protected the dribble, guy went off, he turned around, handed it off. So now if he takes that step, now you got 2 guys that can play at the elbow, then you got another one that's 7 foot, that can step outside, shoot the basketball. So as they improve, they help each other. But I think ultimately when they're both out there together, 2 7-footers is just a beautiful thing to have. One stretches the floor vertically with lobs, and the other stretches the floor because he can shoot the basketball, and you don't get hurt on the backboard, and you protect your paint.
Dylan said he played some DHO stuff at Auburn. Any evidence of that?
Now I do. No. I mean, listen, you can see it in him, but I just think, as we take the reins off of him and let him through player development and different things, like I'm seeing like, oh, okay, you got that. And it was very natural when we were watching it together. I was like, oh, this is beautiful, man. Like it was a quick little tap dribble, boop, boop, where he protected it, turn, handoff, rolls hard. So those things as he continues, because now you can put him in the corner. So as the pick and roll's coming, guy rolls, low man helps, you rifle it to him in the corner. Now he has uphill DHO capabilities, which the next step would be keep capabilities, where he keeps it himself and goes and dunks it, which he probably would tell me he can already do. Yes.
Hey, Coach, I was just wondering if you could speak a little bit about Doug McDermott. He's been a little bit of a spark for the team off of the bench, even through some rough times. But to be able to play 12 minutes straight with not getting infrequent minutes, how important is that both on the court and off the court for the young guys?
You know, if you look up the word professional in the dictionary, I'm pretty sure Doug is smiling right there, because the ultimate professional, like to watch him do his work. I thought he was very helpful last year for Devin Carter. Like they would do some shooting drills and then they would run after it. Well, part of the running is, did I reach my goal? Just little things like this that help DC start to see this is how a professional does it. He also helped Neek with some footwork stuff. Like these are little tiny things that our vets are helping him with, but the fact that he stays ready and has the ability to step out on the floor and contribute, I think also is another shining example for them. But the gravity that he brings on the floor, it's really crazy, because as soon as he steps on the floor tilts and everybody goes, watch it, which you have to use that. When he's on the floor, you run things for him because he has that gravity, and that gravity helps everybody else.
So the last 6-7 games or so, Max's minutes and production with Russ available, there's a big difference in terms of his production scoring wise. With Russ out tonight or today, how do you try and find ways for Max to get into that two-man or find ways to score maybe a little bit like he does with Russ?
You know, it's interesting because I think he also has to learn that on his own. Like, okay, Russ became your comfy blanket and he's finding you in the pocket, and I totally understand that. But there's another side of the floor. Like tonight, maybe it's that you roll harder and you collapse the defense, which opens it up for the guy who's driving. And then maybe the spray out is there. There are aspects of his game that he just has to continue to develop. The pocket will be there. Will everybody look for him the same way Russ does? I think Russ understands, because he's an incredible Hall of Fame veteran, who he has at his dispense. And this is something when I sat with Killian yesterday, was telling him, like, okay, you got to look as a point guard, you're looking on the floor and you're seeing what your weaponry is. Okay, well, now you got a pocket guy in Max. You got a spray guy in Malik. You got a spray guy in Doug. You got a spray guy in, and you got a roller, that stretches the floor in Dylan. So now, how do you utilize all of that to the best of your ability to help us, but also take advantage of it for yourself? And tonight, hopefully, as we talked yesterday, he looks and sees, okay, when I'm with Max, this is how I do it. When I'm with Dylan, this is how I do it. This is how I use Doug's gravity. This is how I use Malik, because that's how you have to digest the game. So, but he's just one player, and Max will find himself in the pocket. But when the pocket's not there, roll hard, collapse the defense, and keep playing.
Well, Christy, just get back to Doug McDermott. Of course, he's been in the league for 12 plus years, but what else you seeing in that locker room or on the floor with him working with those younger players too, as you had mentioned?
I just think his overall professionalism, to be honest with you, like whether it's shoot arounds, whether it's practice, whether it's film session, whenever I look up at Doug, he's always attentive. He's understanding what's going on. He's shaking his head like he's engaged. And that's important. And it's important for our young players to see. It's like, okay, well, he's not in the rotation, but he's no less engaged than you are supposed to be. You are here. We are working. We are on our grind. We are trying to win ball games and trying to improve daily. And that is how you do it. Because if he didn't do that, to your point, when he got in the game, he would not have been ready. Now, ready doesn't mean making shots. Making shots is, you make them, you miss them. That guy can shoot the basketball. So when he misses, he just missed. But he understands the play. He understands the timing. He understands how to set his guy up. He understands all defensive concepts. Like all those little things are super important for him to show our young players.
Coach, I just had two quick questions looking a little bit broader. After this game, the next game's played here on the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 round of the women's NCAA tournament. From your experience playing here, what makes Sacramento such a special place to host high-level basketball?
People love basketball here in a way that is uncanny. You just don't see it. If you come here and you see the California Classic in the summertime, it's going to look like what you see out there tonight. It'll be packed. People will be excited, and you think it's a regular season game. They love it in a way, and they love good basketball. They love people to play extremely hard, and when they do, they reciprocate. They really appreciate it. It is about winning and losing, but they understand that the first step in that process is getting after it. I think because Sacramento is a community of hardworking people, they like you to work extremely hard, and if you do that, they love it. Winning, in my opinion, is a byproduct of that, and when they get that, it just turns into something that you don't see quite often, to be frank with you. In a lot of arenas that we go to where teams are winning, it's not like this. So whether it's the NCAA tournament, and those teams will have their own fans that come with them as well, but what is added from Sacramento will be really nice.
And then with the growth of women's basketball, how important is for the women's tournament to get exposure playing at a place like Golden One?
I think it's huge. You're seeing with the collective bargaining agreement with the WNBA, all the different things that are taking place in women's basketball. We're seeing incredible talents. We're seeing just high level basketball. It's a pleasure to watch. I cheer for, I won't say who I cheer for, but I cheer for certain people and teams. But at the same time, just to watch the growth of the women's game has been incredible. For someone in Seattle growing up, I had at Rainier Beach High School, we had a really good women's team, and some of them played with us, which, back then it wasn't always, but they were good enough. So, and then to watch that continue to happen has been really, really beautiful.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Appreciate you guys. Yep.